Hey guys! So as the speed paint plays, I'll be telling you a little bit more about the character's personality, background, and my design process. This was submitted by Rats on my Discord server. This is their character Varian. There is not much known about this guy except that he is a prince and he schemes, which gave me some ideas. There's a lot going on about this character, but there are some specific subjects that I want to keep and make the main subject for the design. Shark detailing and the noodliness I like, so I'm making him sort of a Japanese dragon but also having attributes and accessories that shows he's an underwater dwelling dragon guy. Keeping the beaded necklace, belt, anklet, and shark teeth with the added shells, pearls, and jade ornaments. Okay, as a disclaimer, the audio from here on out has a low buzzing in the background. I'm sorry, my AC turned on, so just be aware. I'm giving his human form a tighter clothing that is potentially hydrodynamic and turned his flowy shirt into a cape. Keeping the shark fins, but I gave him more of a vague shape, making him more shark-like as opposed to shark-looking. By the way, I must say that I love the original shape of the horns, but I want to make them smooth and more hydrodynamic as well. And I gave him webbed feet. While giving him all these sea dragon attributes, I also want him to have land-dwelling features too, including more mammalian-like ears, face fuzz, ear fuzz, neck fuzz, elbow fuzz, and some tufts of fuzz on his lower back and upper tail. In his human form, I gave him thicker hair texture while keeping the long face fuzz and ear fuzz. Though the feet are webbed, he has defined toes and flat feet to walk on land if he so please. And some additional stuff is that the original design he had one eye closed like it was missing or damaged somehow, so I gave him eye scars and I made his eyelid partially open so that you can see that in fact he has no eyeball at all. Personality, abilities, and backstory. Asked Rats about Varian's story, and as I said before, he is a very undeveloped character, so I went hog wild. First, I feel like he would have a strong personality, like a prince. He's ready to take on anything positive, confident, kind, and brave, but maybe a little too brave at times and easily gets into trouble. When he is in trouble, he always has a clever and cunning way of talking his way out if his opponent is too strong for him. While he's a good team leader, he can be stubborn, cocky, and a show-off when it comes to his good looks and charms. A little something about him is that he secretly really enjoys cake. He enjoys cake because when he used to be a royal, cake was the only color and excitement in his life at the time when he was in the castle, which we'll get into in a minute. He lives life to the fullest and doesn't let anything or anyone get him down. He is very agile in his human form. He can run fast, climb, etc. But in his dragon form, he is slow on land but much faster in the water than when he is human. He also has a passion for cartography and poetry. He has little magic, but he has mastered the skill of summoning these green throwing knives at will and turn into a dragon. Okay, on to the brief backstory. Varian was miserable in his father's castle. He had a lot of responsibilities and pressure of becoming king and had no room for his passions. No one knew his name or his face, and he hated that he had to become king for people to recognize him. Varian also wanted to live like a pioneer and explore wondrous places and be famous for his extraordinary deeds. It was but a daydream, for all he saw in the future was being bored, cooped up in a castle, and having to deal with war, affairs, and politics, which is something he was barely able to focus on already. Knowing his torturous future he had ahead of him, he went to his younger brother, who was more passionate than him about ruling. Varian confronted his father about the idea, but instead, his father took this as a huge gesture of ungratefulness. He clawed his son's face and kicked him out as punishment. He was found by a traveling pack of heroes who took him in to the town's medic to be healed. Though he lost his eye, he was saved and he was finally free. Okay, wow, that was pretty deep, but something light, like color. Okay, so this character has many colors going on, but for the redesign, I want to mainly focus on the prominent theme, which is a jade green color. I also love the tan skin tone with the vitiligo, but I'm going to tone down the orange in his skin and put patches in only a few spots, like his hands and his nose. I love the contrast of the stripes in the hair, but the blonde and the navy blue don't work with the color palette I already have for him. But to keep the contrast in the color values and also keep with the theme, I made his hair dark brown with one stripe of pale green, like his face fuzz. It was also hard to pick an eye color. I took to my references and I saw that the original character had an orangey brown color for his eyes. Orange wasn't quite speaking to me, so I experimented for a while and came up with a slightly pale red color, trying to stay consistent with the pale theme for sure. His clothing, I gave him splashes of red matching his eyes, brown and cream to contrast with so much green. Anyway, here's Varian 2.0. Hope you guys like him, and I hope I didn't butcher his name too bad. I also consulted Bratz about possibly featuring him in an episode of Bent Shadows, so keep a lookout. Meantime, episode 3 is coming soon, so stay tuned. Well, that's all. Good night. So, as a speed paint, a little bit more about this character. This was submitted. It's like that are giving his human. Dang it! Face fuzz, ear fuzz. Eerie fuzz. The toes, feet. You see that? No, eyeball. Out of his opponent, if it is. God have mercy. Stubborn, cocky, and show off, and a show off. Get it right. He enjoys cake because nothing. But much low? That's not English. But in his dragon form, he can. But in his dragon form, he can't do anything on land, but much faster in the water when he is than showing his torturous future. Yes, that is English. I can't feel my butt. No. Too bad. The ones.